This is the Lepus MK2. It serves one function and one function alone. That's to spray darts very quickly. It takes regular Talon-style magazines and is fairly affordable for a 3D printed blaster, able to be bought for around $90 to $100. I got mine from Frontline Foam. If you're not into the Nerf hobby, for a 3D printed blaster, that is not very expensive.
No. No. Ow.
If you know me, you know I love my dart hoses. Yeah, this is probably not game practical. I mean, maybe as a secondary, as a surprise CQB blaster, but who cares? This hobby is about fun, and there's nothing more fun than dumping your entire magazine in under a second. To be honest, this review may be a little short, because this thing is incredibly simple. It doesn't need to be complicated. Because like I said, it does one thing and one thing alone. Dumps its magazine. It doesn't even have any traditional triggers. Kind of. It's just got these little nubs. I'm gonna zoom in. These are your triggers. This is the rev. This is the trigger. And oh boy, this rate of fire is insane. The little white piece in there is the pusher. I don't even think the camera can really catch it spinning. It's spinning so fast. One of the problems I have noticed with this blaster though is that you need to make sure that the pusher gets to the back. If it stops like this, then it won't be able to feed the next magazine, which is kind of annoying. And that leads me into my next problem. This thing is really picky when it comes to darts and when it comes to magazines. Yes, it does work with Talon style magazines, so your worker 15 round mags work perfectly fine. There's no mag release or anything, it's like a little roller catch in there. Just got a yank on it, comes right out, no problem there. It does lock in 18 round Talon mags. However, these have feeding issues. They'll just randomly stop shooting. Occasionally you get it to shoot like it's supposed to, but for some reason it's really picky with these. And what's super unfortunate is that the Tachi 29 round magazine doesn't work with it at all. It doesn't lock in, it's a little too thin, so yeah, that sucks. But even if you hold it in place, it has the same problem as the 18 round magazine where it just kind of seems to not want to function all the way. That's a real bummer because this style of magazine would be the perfect mag for a blaster like this. That said, not all is lost because it did work perfectly fine with the regular 15 rounders, and it's still a lot of fun. Assuming you're using correct darts. It's pretty picky with them in my experience. I first chronoed this with waffle heads, assuming waffle heads would be the best dart for this blaster. I mean, that's usually how flywheelers work, especially if they have a high rate of fire. And I would chrono it by only putting one dart in the mag, because there's no way you're tapping out one dart at a time with this. And with waffle heads, I was getting 120 FPS on average. However, I was having that jamming issue, and by jamming issue, I mean it wouldn't actually jam in the flywheels or anything, it's just the pusher wouldn't be able to push it forward, even when it was seated all the way back. What I did notice though is that bamboo darts worked entirely as intended with this, and I didn't have any problems with them. It might be because of the slightly smaller size, giving the pusher more of a time to move forward, and maybe because bamboo darts are lighter, I don't know. Either way, with bamboo darts I was getting 130 to 140 FPS, more consistent to about 130. And with a blaster like this, I will take the extra velocity. You're definitely not looking for accuracy with a bullet hose, so honestly, I would prefer to use bamboo darts anyway, especially since you're probably just going to be shooting this at home and not taking it to games. I don't know if that's just a me problem. I've seen plenty of other videos and they don't seem to have issues with darts. Frontline Foam's website even says it should work with most dart types, but in my case, almost all my different dart types, not just waffle heads, were really picky, so I don't know. Thankfully, this is just something I'm going to be shooting in my house and it works fine with bamboo darts, so I can't really complain. Or I guess I could, I just don't really care. The battery compartment is back here. Just takes one of those computer screws. Thankfully it's toolless. I love my toolless battery compartments. I can't rant about that enough. Unscrew that, lift this up, and there you go. That's where your battery is. This is the whole blaster. There's not much to it. It's very simple. This one is not wired to an XT60 or an XT30. This is wired to a JST connection. That's because the JST connector is a little bit smaller and there's not much space in here. So keep in mind, if you're planning on buying this, make sure your battery is going to fit in here and make sure you have the right connector type. Also make sure you tuck the wires completely out of the way so it doesn't get pushed into this very fast, scary pusher. And putting the battery tray back on is very simple. That's all you gotta do. There is a full top rail up here if aiming is a thing you're wanting to do. Who's gonna do that? Just shoot, you'll hit something. In conclusion, mine has some problems I've not really seen in any other video, and I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to do any of this, and it's just supposed to work with any darts. However, I do really like bamboo darts. I'm not really wanting to be more accurate, so you might as well take the lightest, hardest shooting dart anyway. Who cares if this thing is not really that game viable? I'm not using it for that purpose. I'm having fun spraying darts everywhere. I do really wish it worked with the Tachi magazines. Like, this isn't a my model specific thing, like it just won't lock in there, so that's a little depressing, but I can't complain that much. And with this really simple design, it majorly cuts down on cost. I mean, only $90 for a full auto 3D printed blaster that takes Talon mags, that's a steal. If this appeals to you at all, if you like high rate of fire blasters, I would 100% recommend this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.